The Republicans should give up fighting Obamacare. An FTA with China will be mainly symbolic, and the mining boom isn't over. Those are just some of the thoughts of former Prime Minister John Howard, who addressed the CEO Magazine Executive Conference in Hamilton Island earlier today. He spoke exclusively with Sky News business reporter Nigel Freitas at the conference, who began by asking Mr Howard whether he supported the WA Premier's calls for a lift to the GST.
I support the approach that the Abbott government is taking because it's implementing what it said it would do before the election. I think it's very important for the new government to honour commitments it made. I, of course, don't make any apology for the GST. It was one of our great economic reforms. Mr Abbott has said that he will have a review of the system, and everything will be on the table in that review, including the current structure of the GST.
Many business leaders feel the paid maternity leave policy is a huge impost on the business community. It's also going to create new levels of bureaucracy. It's a big government program. Doesn't this contravene every single tenet of a classical Liberal government?
Well, you have to look at the totality of what the Abbott government is promising in relation to business, particularly business taxes. I mean, they're going to get rid of the mining tax and the carbon tax, and they are proposing a reduction in the company tax, which would equal in relation to the companies that will be liable for the levy to fund the paid parental leave scheme, the equivalent to that. I think you have to look at the totality of it to make a correct judgment about the approach of the government towards business regulation.
But it's not a policy you would have introduced.
Well, when we were in government, we looked at it and we decided against it. But that's 6 years ago. And everybody knows that I'm a great supporter of Tony Abbott, and I'm very pleased that he's the new Prime Minister. But that doesn't mean to say that we agree on every single thing. When we were in government, we had a different view, and I think the view we took when we were in government was the right view to take then. But equally, he's the Prime Minister now, and he went to the public with it as a policy. He thinks it will boost labour force participation. He thinks it's a recognition of changed circumstances for, and you have to respect that. And he argued his case, and he won the election.
Now, on election night, it's reported that Tony Abbott called you his most trusted advisor. What kind of advice would you give to Mr Abbott as he tries to navigate through the current economy?
Well, look, I wouldn't presume to tell him anything, even on a prestigious program as this, how to do. He'll run his own government, and he's now in the first term of the Abbott government, not the fifth term of the Howard government. Look, I think if he sticks to what he said he would do, if he is careful with the public's money, if he tries to run a no-surprises government, if he tries to restore a sense of calm and predictability to the economic framework of the country, business confidence will soar. The last 6 years has been so chaotic that people have confidence. And I can already sense, moving around Australia, that people are so relieved that we have a normal orthodox adult government back in charge, one that's not riven by personality arguments and leadership disputes, one that has a clear mandate to do certain things, and incidentally has a Senate outcome that was better than I feared it might be.
Coming up, Janet Yellen has been nominated by President Obama as the next Fed chair. Details next.
Could your business benefit from additional working capital? Would you like to increase sales?
Your $5,000 order, it can be paid $1,000 a month over 5 months. Since we started using First Class Capital, our sales have gone through the roof.
First Class Capital gives your company the ability to offer your customers flexible instalment plans for your goods or services. We provide working capital and a powerful sales tool with no bricks and mortar security required.